my channel, long time no see. Okay, so this is going to be about my second pregnancy and my second labor and delivery. So 7 months after I gave birth to my first beautiful baby girl, I found out that I was pregnant with my second child, another girl, and I was in disbelief and kind of like, really? Because I thought I was gonna have issues getting pregnant again due to my first pregnancy. So if you have not seen that video, link down below, and it's so you can watch that one first and then come back and catch up on this one. Okay. So 7 months after giving birth to my first daughter, I found out that I'm pregnant again, and I had completely moved states, no longer in Florida, no longer around my original doctors, which may or may not have been a bad thing. Okay, now I was having a whole new experience. So once I found out I was pregnant, I went, scheduled an OB/GYN appointment to confirm the pregnancy, and I went there. It was confirmed that I was pregnant. Now, they did not do ultrasounds. They hardly have ultrasounds at this OB/GYN that I went to. That's just not, they don't do a lot of it. So that was completely different from my first pregnancy. Because my first pregnancy, immediately I went in and got an ultrasound. They told me that I would not have an ultrasound at least for 3 months, like 12 weeks. So that was shocking to me. Now, based on my previous record, which they did have to obtain my records from my OB/GYN in Florida, they immediately put me on high risk, which I felt like, okay. They immediately put me on high risk. I went to see the high risk doctor to talk about my first pregnancy and what concerns that I may have for this pregnancy and moving forward. For the first 12 weeks, yes, I would again see my OB/GYN and my high risk. They confirmed that there were no cysts. They confirmed the baby was doing great and everything was progressing as it should be. So we made a decision that I would no longer be high risk at that point. I started seeing my regular doctor, which I was thankful for because that eliminated that stress. Now, because of my history, I did have to take progesterone shots. I think that started at week 16 to week 32, which I would have to go in every single week. They would inject the progesterone. Okay, to be honest with you, it would depend on who was administering it, because sometimes I went there, the nurse would inject, and it would be basically on your side. So it would not be in your buttocks, but it would be on like the side. They had to find the muscle kind of around your butt. They had to find but it was more on your side. Listen, just finding the spot for them to inject was painful. Okay, no, because it wasn't painful, but it was just an ordeal just for them to find out. The shots burned, so going in, you could feel it. It would burn, and depending on the nurse that was performing it, it would really hurt. And I had to do this every single week without fail. I felt like I didn't need the progesterone shots. Like, this is a totally different pregnancy. Do I really need this? You know, this is when I feel like you have to trust your instincts, yourself, and your body, not just follow along to whatever the doctors are saying. I don't know if I made that point in my first video, but I definitely want to make that point in this video, is that you know your body better than anyone else. I know that they're doctors, they're trained professionals, but you are you. You know you. You know, and speak up for yourself. Don't just follow along to what the doctors are saying, and trust yourself, trust your instincts. Here we go from eliminating me having to see the high-risk doctors, but now every single week still having to be checked and take the progesterone shots. So I took the shots every week until 32 weeks, and then they did want me to have a VBAC. Okay, now I was kind of on the fence if I should have another C-section or if I should try to push. Of course, I did want to try to push. I thought that that would be very important for me to do, to at least give myself the opportunity. However, a C-section was like all I knew. Does that make sense? Like, that's kind of all I knew. My doctors were encouraging a VBAC. They really, really wanted it. So they had me down for a VBAC, and at the last minute, I changed it to a C-section. So we scheduled a C-section. I wanted to do it at 36 weeks. They told me absolutely not, that I would have to do my C-section at 39 weeks. 36 to 39 weeks, oh my goodness. I was so uncomfortable. I had a lot of pelvic pressure, and I was like, ooh, it was very intense. Made it to 39 weeks, and I went and got my C-section. While they're prepping me on the operating table for the C-section, I have an anxiety panic attack. They numbed my legs. Right after they numbed my legs, I don't know, it's like I lost it. I couldn't feel my legs. It just scared me. I tried to get up from the operating table. They called the anesthesiologist. They really thought they were going to have to put me out. My heart rate spiked. I'm concerned. Okay. So the nurses tried to calm me down. All I remember saying is, I can't do this, and trying to get up and leave off of the operating table. So what I'm telling you, my anxiety, literally, it's really something. Doctor rushed in because I guess they called her and paged her. But by the time she even came in, the nurse, I remember the nurse was so sweet. Like, she was just like, no, it's gonna be okay. She literally just talked to me, and I was able to calm myself down. And they were even shocked at, like, how did you calm yourself down so fast? And that's something that I have learned to do. And by the grace of God, He has, even though I have anxiety, I am able to calm myself down pretty quickly, unless it's one of those times where I don't have control, and I can't. Doctor rushed in too. She was like, yes, she does have issues with anxiety that she's working through. She basically just told me to imagine myself on a beach. So now we begin the C-section. I had 2 more panic attacks during the whole time period. I kept telling them sorry, and they're like, no, you don't need to say sorry. This is a safe environment. We understand. They were just very, very, very aware of my issue and made sure that I was comfortable. Knew that I would be, that I am supported, and they're here to support me. So they go ahead, they get the baby up, they put her over the curtain, me and my husband. Oh, I forgot to mention, I had my anxiety attack. My first anxiety attack was before my husband even was able to come into the room. So they were like, get her husband, get her husband, get her husband. And so he ended up coming into the room like, what is going on? Like, girl, is you okay? Like, I'm having a panic attack. But anyway, I just thought that was funny that they rushed in there. But anyway, so they got the baby, they put her over there, and they're like, what do you think? What are your first thoughts? She looks exactly like her father. She was so cute. And then I was ready to do skin to skin because I did not get to do skin to skin with my first daughter. Okay, I did not even get to breastfeed my first daughter because once she went to the nursery, they gave her a bottle formula, and since then she would never want to latch on to my breast for breastfeeding. So this pregnancy, I wanted it to be different, right? Come to me and say, we're not going to be able to do skin to skin. Her oxygen levels, now I live in Colorado, high altitude, okay? There's like her oxygen levels are low. We're going to need to keep her in observation there immediately. So I start freaking out, what you mean her oxygen levels are low? What's going on? I really wanted to do skin to skin with my kid. By the grace of God, within 15 minutes, her oxygen levels were right where they needed to be. And I was able to do skin to skin with my second child, my baby girl. And I just remember her laying on my chest and crying and being so thankful. and the one of the nurses, it was a guy. What was his? I don't remember what he was, but he was in the room. He ended up taking my husband's phone and took a picture of us, like in the moment as we're embracing her. It was just beautiful. So I'll make sure to include that now in the recovery room. Again, I had to be there for an hour to make sure all vitals and everything was good. Everything was, and then I was able to be released to my room. Once I get to my room, my doctor comes in and says, okay, let's go over a few things. Okay, first of all, your uterus was split open and the sac was, part of the sac was hanging outside of the uterus. We had to stitch your uterus back up. Okay, with that being said, you would have to wait at least 18 months to be pregnant again. We need to make sure that you are completely healed before you get pregnant again. We ask that you do wait at least 18 months. If you had tried to do the VBAC, that could have been extremely dangerous for you and the baby. So it's very good that we did a C-section. And this was the same doctor that was like pushing me to, you know, you can do the VBAC, you can do this. And remember, I was scheduled. I was like, yes, I can do this. But at the last minute, I changed it. And I said, no, I'm gonna go with the C-section. And that's it, that's final. And I'm so glad I did. This is why it is important for you to know yourself, listen to yourself, listen to your body, and trust God as well. Moving forward, if I got pregnant again, I would have to deliver at 36 weeks via a C-section. Seeing as I would have to have C-sections moving forward, they wanted to know the number of children that I potentially would want, because getting cut open those many times in the same spot and having to heal scar tissue, everything like that. But due to my pregnancies being so difficult, I think I am gonna be good at 2. Now we have a second beautiful baby girl, healthy, and I just thank God for my experience. It's taught me a lot about being a woman, a lot about what we can endure, a lot about our bodies, things that I never knew as a single woman, things that you know, I wish I was educated on as what women go through or what potentially could happen. We go through a lot when we're pregnant, you know, and if someone is pregnant watching this video right now, I am just sending you positive vibes. I am sending you everything positive and great for you and your baby, your delivery. I'm just sending it all to you for it to be absolutely the greatest experience that you have in this lifetime, and everything goes as planned. I'm sending it all to you, all positivity, all light, because it's a great experience, it's a grand experience. Anyway, I can ramble on for days. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. Thank you guys for checking out this video, and I appreciate you coming back and spending some time with me. So if you like the content you saw or have seen on my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button for this video. And I look forward to seeing you guys again in another video, okay? See you, bye.